Okay, first things first, we need one of you guys to clap for a common mark.
I did it first.
Dude, let's start this whole day.
Jesus Christ. Alright, we gotta go.
It's been crazy to see the response. And, you know, being a new singer of this band, I was very nervous, not quite sure what people were going to think. But the response has been overwhelmingly positive. So, yeah, it's just been really awesome working on it for the last year or so and finally being like, hey, I'm in this band and we're ready. This one, A New Disaster, was a very early demo. It was before I was even in the band at all. They had sent me over a couple of songs to kind of take a look at and maybe put, you know, some vocals down to his melodical and lyrical ideas that he already had planned out for the song. And this was actually the first one that I gravitated towards. I was like, ooh, I'm going to put my vocals on that. And then, yeah, sent it over to them. And, yeah, the rest is kind of history.
New Disaster is the first single off the album, and it came out, and it's been really good. It's been really good. It's kind of nice to get done with this past year of just being in the studio and harassing ourselves on a weekly basis, and finally get to show people what we've been doing. And you know, after how long this song's been sitting around, it's kind of nice to be able to put it out there and see the reactions that people have now that we kind of had when we first put it together almost a year ago. So the meaning behind A New Disaster as a title kind of reflects where we were coming from at that point in time. Like I said, this song was very early on in the writing process, and it was kind of a situation where we needed to kind of step back, not be afraid of, you know, letting everything else that we've done at that point fall to the wayside just for a moment, so we can clear our heads and create something completely new. And I call it a disaster because when you go into it, you can't be so planned out about everything. You need to just be not afraid of going into something. You know, you can't think about it too much. You just gotta go into it and see what happens.
This band has gone through member changes before, and as all bands do, but when you lose the voice and the face, that's where it gets a little iffy. I remember sitting in the room with Evan and Jason and just kind of looking at each other and, you know, just kind of like, all right, we're gonna figure this out, because we all still wanted to play together. We talked to one another. It's like, well, if we disbanded Cold Kingdom, I would still want to have Evan as my guitar player. I'd still want to have Jason as my bass player, and I'd hope they'd want me to play drums. So that's why we decided to keep Cold Kingdom, and try our hardest to keep the name alive, keep the brand alive.
It was definitely a great feeling to release the song and have it be so warmly accepted by everyone who's followed us. And now for new fans, that's their first introduction into what Cold Kingdom is. And I think we as a band, as a group, are extremely proud of how that turned out. I think the song is very strong. It's the marker of a new disaster. It speaks volumes to the road ahead for us and everything we want to accomplish. You know, it's tough to be a band, and this band in particular has had so many bumps in the road for the last 5 years, and this is just the next step in everything. And for it to blow up the way that it did in the first 24 hours, the numbers were just absolutely great. So, and now it's getting played on all around the Midwest. So
Colin and Elisa have really kind of brought multiple new dimensions to the band. You know, not just the musical sides of things, not just the technical sides of things, but the energy they bring to the band, the kind of the positive vibes they bring to the band. I mean, I'm sure you know Elisa is kind of excitable.
Yeah.
Might be just a little, just a little, but in a great way, and that's definitely spilled over to everyone else in the band. So this is a different team, and it's cool in this sense to make a record that really it has been a very collaborative project. Obviously, I think we all know that Evan. Well, we all know, so now you all should know that Evan really is kind of the creative fire starter for this group. Without that kid, Cold Kingdom is as much Evan Ogard as it is anything else.
Evan gives us opportunities to write, which is awesome as well. But I mean, as far as new things, I mean, just a different style of music, and really having a main writer that brings everything to the table. I mean, he's a world-class writer. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. So, I mean, it's a treat just hearing something new. You get a text message and you got something new and you're like, wow, I gotta listen to this right now. And that's Evan. And I mean, every guy in this band is awesome. I mean, I couldn't be happier. I know Lisa couldn't be happier.
As far as this record has come together, it's been a very collaborative, very team-oriented thing, and it's come together fast because of that. We've got a bunch of people who are pulling in the same direction, and that are, there's that excitement of new friends and new working relationships that we've been feeding off of for sure. And I think that excitement is a huge part of this record, for sure. For sure.
I hope there's a lot of boners.
Is actually what I meant to say.
There's only one other thing I want to touch on.
Okay. What do you want to? That's cute.
I'm good.
Chemical trap